The CCP is increasingly concerned as the international community continues to examine China's political and social developments. From a macroeconomic perspective, mounting debt, weak consumer confidence, an increase in the unemployment rate, and an uncertain future for global trade, there are numerous factors that are all causing significant worries for the CCP. China has experienced immense economic and technological growth over the past few decades. Yet the CCP seems to be constantly on edge. To understand what are the economic struggles faced by the Chinese government today, let's first take a look at China's GDP chart. Since 1978, when China started to open up and reform its economy, the GDP has grown by an average of nearly 9% annually, and more than 800 million people have been pulled out of poverty. Over the same time span, access to health, education, and other services have also significantly improved. But in recent years, growth has slowed due to fundamental limitations such as slowing productivity growth, declining labor force growth, and deteriorating investment returns. China's GDP growth is anticipated to drop significantly from 8.1% in 2021 to just 2.8% in 2022 as a result of numerous internal and external challenges. Extreme weather events and widespread Omicron epidemics have slowed economic progress. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the external environment has also considerably deteriorated, with declining global GDP, skyrocketing inflation, and tighter financial conditions. Moreover, China's one-child policy has had a major effect on the country's growth and development. The policy, which was first introduced in 1979 to slow population growth, has had more negative than positive impacts on China's economic development. At first, smaller families have allowed for greater investment into each child's education and future economic security. But now, China's population is aging rapidly due to low birth rates and declining fertility rates. This has had a significant impact on the country's economic growth, as there are fewer workers entering the workforce each year, resulting in lower GDP growth overall. In addition to its economic effects, the one-child policy has also had a significant social impact on China. The policy has caused an imbalanced gender ratio and created a little emperor syndrome, where only children are often spoiled and overprotected. Furthermore, China's real estate industry has been a key driver of the country's economic growth over the past few decades. In recent years, however, it has seen a dramatic drop in activity due to various factors such as stricter governmental regulations and a cooling economy. This decline in the real estate business is having an adverse effect on China's economic growth. The slowdown in the real estate market is leading to a decrease in demand for materials and labor, which has resulted in lower domestic consumption. This has caused an economic slowdown that has been further exacerbated by lower investment from foreign companies. The drop in the real estate business is also causing distress to many investors who have been expecting steady returns from their investments due to the development that was taking place in the sector. This lack of confidence has seen capital flows dry up, which has caused further damage to China's economic growth. The resulting slump in construction activity has also had a negative impact on employment opportunities within the industry, creating an ever-decreasing pool of jobs for people in the sector. According to the most recent statistics made available by China's National Bureau of Statistics, the country's youth unemployment rate hit 19.9% in July. Since Beijing began releasing the measure in January 2018 and the rate as low as 9.6%, it is the highest rate. The increasing rate of unemployment in China can be attributed to several other factors too. One of the main reasons is the rapid economic growth that has created a mismatch between available jobs and skilled labor. As more companies enter the Chinese market, competition for qualified workers is intensifying, leaving many people unable to find employment. At the same time, advancements in technology are taking away many traditional jobs, creating an even larger gap between labor supply and demand. According to Zach Dykewald, CEO of Youth China Group, a consultancy firm that does market research on Chinese youth, China is both overeducated and undereducated. Today, compared to 20 years ago, a lot more young individuals throughout China seek higher education. Approximately 1 million students were admitted to Chinese institutions in 1998. Last year, approximately 11 million graduated. The Chinese labor market has underperformed in the interim. No doubt it's really difficult to change your entire economy over a 20-year period at pace with the number of young people getting educated. On the one hand, there aren't enough positions for college grads looking for white-collar work. According to Zhaopin, a Chinese online recruitment website, there were just 0.71 jobs available for every graduate in the initial quarter of the year. China lacks sufficient technical and vocational education in advanced manufacturing on the other side of the labor market, where less educated candidates may find employment. In addition to the over-undereducated problem, China's job sector experienced another setback in 2018. The government started imposing a plethora of new rules on businesses with the general goal of lowering inequality. This effort gained momentum after Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a speech on what he dubbed common prosperity last summer. Chinese firms that were thought to have been overly greedy were one of the main targets of the Common Prosperity campaign. A crackdown that followed was detrimental to the job economy. The technology sector in China has been partially heavily damaged. Chinese regulators have levied billion-dollar fines on tech behemoths Tencent and Alibaba for engaging in monopolistic behavior. The frenzied growth of technology has been restrained in the midst of the crackdown. Some recent rules went far further, virtually destroying entire industries. In order to equalize educational chances, the government placed a prohibition on for-profit tutoring, which completely destroyed the private education sector. According to a survey released in November by Beijing Normal University, the sector's crackdown put 3 million employment seekers in jeopardy. An entire group of job seekers would have to look elsewhere without these well-liked post-graduation locations. Plenty more young grads are looking for steady government positions in the midst of the turmoil. In December, over 2 million people signed up to sit for China's civil service examination in the hopes of gaining positions in the government that offer lesser pay but greater job security. Additionally, job seekers have been turning more and more to state-owned businesses. Besides that, the World Bank predicted that China's economic growth will drop to 4.3% in 2022, which would be 0.8% lower than its initial December forecast, as a result of protracted pandemic-related lockdowns across Beijing and Shanghai between March and May. The pandemic has boosted the numbers of candidates looking for jobs, however. The youth unemployment rate weren't as awful back in 2020, in part because the Chinese government mandated colleges to increase graduate school enrollment as a method of assisting students to postpone entering the workforce until the economy fully recovered. However, those graduates are now dealing with an economy that appears to be getting worse rather than better, and that has made matters worse. At the same time, industrial production decreased by 2.9% from a year earlier as a result of supply chain disruptions brought on by coronavirus containment measures. That brought an end to the 5% gain in March and was the biggest drop since February 2020. According to Lu Pingyu, the spokeswoman for the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C., the epidemic has made production and operation difficult, which has reduced the ability to attract workers. So that's why China's economy is badly failing, making the CCP worried. CCP is worried about its economic performance, societal challenges, and international relations. As leaders look to maintain their power, they must work together to ensure a prosperous future for all of China's citizens, or risk losing their grip on the reins of power. In the end, only time will tell if these efforts are successful or not. So keep your eyes peeled and pay attention to this fascinating story as it unfolds. Who knows what exciting changes could come out of China in the years ahead? That's all for today, folks. What do you think can help China overcome its ongoing crises? What policies will make the situation better? And is the CCP really good for the future of China? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting content.